Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to be joined by Medford Police Chief Tim George. Chief, how you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's start with some interesting crimes of late: home invasions, occupied home burglaries. Are thieves more brazen? What's happening?
Well, I think you've seen a huge spike in a couple of things. One, the use of opiates, heroin addiction, those type of increases in the use of those types of drugs. Not to mention, we're still writing a huge influx of methamphetamine and the use of methamphetamine, but a lot of these people are actually using both. I mean, you have people that are addicted to opiates, but they have to use methamphetamine to just try and function, to get up to a certain level of function. But we have a huge problem with heroin right now. One of the largest heroin seizures in Oregon occurred in our region not too terribly long ago at 47 pounds in one stop. So wow. When you're seeing that kind of product both coming through here and also coming in here for distribution, you have a lot of people that do very desperate things for money when they're under that type of addiction. So the root causes of these particular crimes generally come back to a drug addiction nexus.
Now, we're still piecing together, of course, what happened with the Boston Marathon bombing and everything, but there's the potential that those could have been homemade bombs, or they appear to possibly be.
Oh, they were definitely homemade. I mean,
okay. Yeah, and
they're pressure cooker.
Sure,
devices,
right. Okay, and so, but we also saw a homemade bomb recently in Rogue River. As a chief of police, how much do improvised explosive devices, homemade bombs, are those a concern to you? Oh,
absolutely. Anything that is going to kill and remains a concern. I don't know the particulars about the Rogue River case as far as the type bomb. From what I read, it was maybe a Coleman gas can type incendiary device. I don't know. Doesn't look like it was a remote activator or anything that complicated. Someone drove by and threw something. But explosive devices have been around for a long, long time. They're designed to kill and maim, and those are always a concern. But in the Boston scenario, you're talking about folks that have done some research, done some work, done some remote detonation type stuff. Pretty more in line with what you're going to see in wartime stuff, where you're going to see IEDs that are roadside stuff. Right. I mean, those are pretty far apart as far as. And again, you had one person that's trying to cause injury or alarm to a person because of they knew them. So it's a relationship situation as opposed to people that are trying to injure large gatherings of people that are total strangers to them. They're doing it for a cause as opposed to a relationship scenario. Okay. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. Much more with Chief in a moment. Stay with us.
Welcome back to our 5 on 5 again. We're here with Medford Police Chief Tim George. So, Chief, talking about possible cuts in the Sheriff's Department, are those a concern to you at Medford PD?
Well, I think anytime you see law enforcement cut, it's a concern. What happened in Josephine County affects everybody in this region because there's a contingent of state police officers that left the Central Point Command and had to be assigned to Grants Pass to handle their 911 calls for service. So in essence, that makes it less patrols available for this region, so that's less traffic safety for everybody that's involved in this. So anytime there's a reduction in law enforcement in a region where you live, it affects everybody. And fortunately, it's not going to affect jail staffing because that affects everyone, but it's certainly going to affect the residents of Jackson County anytime there's a reduction. So sure, it has an effect. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. A new facility. You guys are in the process of getting a new headquarters for the police department?
Well, we're in a process. I'm not so sure we're going to get it just yet, but we're in a process because it's been a long process. When I got hired by the Medford Police Department in 1977, it'll be going on 36 years. They said, don't get too comfortable because that's temporary, and we're still there. We're sitting in 13,000 plus square feet, which is absolutely ridiculous. We need 35,000 square feet to be at minimum right now, and we are in a crisis state concerning the facility that we are in. We are hampered. We're doing the best we can. I don't want to sound like a big crybaby here because we're going to keep doing what we got to do. That's what we have to do. But as far as a facility that would function properly as a police station, no, we don't have one. In fact, most people don't even know where the police station is because we're in a multi-use building.
Yeah, it's tough to spot.
That's not even marked. If it wasn't for marked vehicles parked outside, you wouldn't know where it is.
I would agree
with that. It was never designed to be a police facility. It's not seismic to the level that you need to be for a public safety facility. It doesn't have secured rooms to hold people temporarily when you're interviewing people that are in custody. We are not in a safe facility, and we're not in a facility that was designed to be a police station. And someday, we're going to have that. It's just a matter of how we're going to do this. We've taken a lot of steps right now. We've done a lot of things to select a location, to get a concept design, but we still have to figure out a way to pay for it. And I understand the economic conditions, and again, I'm not crying if it doesn't happen. We're going to keep on keeping on, but we are limited by the facility that we are in. We have 20 volunteers that work for us, that people that work for free, that are seniors that want to help us. We're limited to the number of volunteers we can even bring on, interns, other people, because there's no place for people to sit, let alone places for our people that are full-time people to sit. So it's not like all the people that work in the Medford Police Department are out there driving around in a car. They're not.
There's no one at home.
There's a lot of back office people that really make this whole thing work.
Sure.
And there's a lot of stuff that goes on in-house that has to happen, aside from the way we deliver services in a vehicle on a call for service.
Chief, great to see you. Thanks for coming down. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.